All right, so while we're getting the next performer set up, I thought I would just tell you a little bit about why I care about this organization. So, as a person who is gender non-conforming myself, I do use she, her pronouns, but I wear men's clothing, and I am very masculine presenting, and I think it's super important to be able to hold space for people just so they can be themselves, so they can be authentic, so they can live their best lives. And that's what MTUG is helping people do every day in St. Louis. So I really do appreciate your support of this amazing organization, because we can't do it without all of you people. So thank you so much for giving your funds and all the people who have been giving their time this whole month, getting this thing ready. I hope you're enjoying it. So, you know, MTUG has a lot of support groups that they offer, 6 different support groups, some of which happen right here at the Pride St. Louis headquarters here in the Grove at the Pride Center. So you can go to their website, stlmetrotrans.org, and check out all of the different support services that they offer. They also have lots of great events throughout the year. There's an art event that they do in April. That's coming up. April 28th, I believe, is the 2018 date at the Koken Art Factory. So you want to put that on your calendar because that's always a great event. They always do a prom, and as you may have heard the testimonial earlier from Rabanse, MTUG raises funds for high schoolers to go to prom, to graduate, you know, get their cap and gown, and, you know, live authentically and be proud of the way they are dressed and the way they look and present themselves to the world. So, you know, these dollars are really going to make a difference. You might be, you know, you have a lot of choices for where you can give your money, especially this time of year, but the dollars are really going to be felt immediately in our community by this incredible organization that just provides services that were never there before. These are brand new systems. These are leaders in the trans community who are basically forging a path that has never been there before. And I just can't say enough about how far your dollar is going to go. And I know, you know, everybody's strapped for cash around this time of year, but even if you can just give a couple bucks, that's gonna help out. That's gonna be, you know, one extra thing that they're gonna be able to do. Your money helps support licensed clinical counselors and social workers like LCSW, MSW. These are licensed people who facilitate the support groups, and you know, they have a professional expertise that comes along with that, and so they need to be compensated, and your funds will help make sure that there is a professional that can help facilitate the needs of some of these folks in the support groups. Yeah, so I mean, there's just a lot of amazing ways that your dollars are going to be put into work right away. So yeah, we have got an amazing couple hours ahead of you, ahead for you here, where we have Aiko Tushida coming up. We are going to be turning it over to the stage here in a little bit to hear some live music. We're going to have some magic coming up. I believe Z, the Mentalist, will be in the house doing a little bit of magic for you. And then in the 1 o'clock hour, we're going to have a burlesque show. So that is definitely going to be tantalizing, if you will. And then in the 2 o'clock hour, DJ Jillian is going to be playing some awesome tunes. We're going to have some go-go dancers and just kind of like lay back and have a great time. 3 a.m., I believe, is the Ryder Presents drag show. Ryder, of course, is a prominent drag king in St. Louis and has a show over at Attitudes. And so a few of the cast members from that show are going to be joining us later in the night to do a little bit of some drag entertainment. And then at the 4 a.m. hour, DJ Mitch Marcoux from JJ's Clubhouse, he's the resident DJ over there. He's going to be playing some tunes for you. And I believe Diet of Pepsi is going to be gracing us with a number or two in that hour as well. So lots in store. For those of you late night owls like myself, things are probably just getting started. You're just tuning in, so there's lots more in store for you. How are we doing over there? Do we need any help to get things going? All right, we're still setting up over there. Okay, we're going to do a little sound check over there. Okay. Well, let's get her set up with a lav then, please. All right, so I've just been informed that the very talented and very dynamic and just a powerhouse in a lot of ways, my friend Rose Whip is going to be joining me here in the interview lounge. So we're going to get them set up with a microphone and do a little Q&A while we're getting the rest of the entertainment sound all figured out. So, yeah. Is someone getting Rose a mic? Awesome. Thanks for bearing with us as we have, we're doing this all on the fly. This is live entertainment, so there's lots of wires, lots of moving parts, lots of technology, and we want to thank SLU for providing a lot of the equipment that we're using here tonight, cameras, lighting, all that kind of stuff. A lot of other sponsors have been a part of making this happen. Of course, Pride St. Louis here using their facility and their electricity and all of their people all the time. We've taken up literally every square inch of this place producing this telethon this weekend. So we want to thank Pride for sure. Left Bank Books, of course, is one of our fave sponsors. We love Left Bank Books. Taco Circus, they fed us earlier. It was delicious. Oh, those tacos were giving me life, seriously. Are we all hooked up? Awesome. Well, I'm going to welcome a special guest, Rose Whip. Come on over. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
So I guess one of my first questions is, because I may not be alone in this, I am guilty of screwing up pronouns sometimes. So can you talk a little bit about your personal pronouns and then maybe like what to do if somebody messes up and calls somebody by the wrong pronouns on accident?
Sure. I tend to interchange mine, so it's normally either she or they, unless I'm looking or presenting super masculine.
Okay.
Then he's cool if it just happens to work, but for the most part it's she or they. In my experience, what I think works best is if you recognize that it happened or that it's happening, it's your responsibility to self-correct. Versus just hoping that that person forgets about it, because that's something that I think sticks with most people who use different pronouns.
Right.
So just acknowledge what you did, don't make it a big deal, correct, use the right one, and move on. Because as much as we want to acknowledge what we do wrong, we also don't want to make it a bigger deal for the other person.
Sure.
At least in my opinion.
So don't make the mistake like more awkward than it needs to be.
Like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Oh, like that's just, I feel like that's making it worse. So just keep it simple and keep it moving.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Because I feel like a lot of this vocabulary is still kind of evolving, especially, I'm getting older, I'm approaching 40, and I feel like some people who are maybe, teenagers or early 20s, they're using different terms than what I grew up with. Yeah. And I think our language is just kind of always evolving, don't you think?
I was just about to say that. It's always evolving because we're evolving. And sometimes we have to catch up to what the younger generation is doing. Like I even find myself, like I'm in my 30s, but I find myself many times asking, what is that? Wait, what does that mean? What is this acronym? And then Googling it because it's not that I don't want to know, it's just, it's a lot of information. But I think it's absolutely worth it to take the time to research and learn about what's affecting everybody. So it's up to us to stay informed.
Yeah, I think that's really important just to take ownership of staying informed. I think that's great advice. Well, shifting gears a little bit, because I know you're here tonight to perform a little bit of burlesque.
Yes.
And for those of you who don't know, Rose Whip is an incredible entertainer and is kind of a powerhouse in neo-burlesque and in the burlesque scene in general. So maybe can you explain for the folks what neo-burlesque is, or maybe just kind of what the art of burlesque is from your point of view?
Sure. So starting with burlesque, at least right now, and the history of it, burlesque is all about striptease. It's all about, actually going back, it was more comedic. It was more making fun of the bourgeoisie and all of that. It was always punching up versus punching down. So in terms of the history of it, that's kind of where it started. You can kind of relate that with vaudeville. I think a lot of what comes to mind for people is like flappers, which is also true, but you know, it was always political. It was always social commentary. In terms of where we're at now, a lot of that has returned, just like styles, just like clothing. It's cyclical. So what I think most people will find is what's considered classic burlesque, which is, you know, you have your fancy gowns and gloves and shimmies and everything's like in a nice little package. But what I do is not that nearly as much as it used to when I first started. So I do what is, I guess, considered or called neo-burlesque, which is where you don't dance to classic music, you don't dance to necessarily like big band or anything like that. It's taking different styles of music, taking different styles of dance and mixing it all together. Like I love personally to dance to like dubstep or like Glass Animals or I don't know, Marilyn Manson. Like I like to mix it up because I think it pushes you to also be more creative. The other part of it is as I'm growing as a performer and an artist, I'm also just naturally becoming more political. That's not everything I do, but it's starting to really, it's just like evolution again.
Falling out of you.
Yeah, it's falling out, and it's like, it's a part of me, my art is a part of me, and me being political, me being super social is a part of that as well. So I love it.
Don't you find that throughout kind of the arc of history that in times of really, you know, in times of darkness or in times of oppression or, you know, if there's a particular time and culture around the world that people were really going through a lot of hardship, that's often when some of the best art emerges and some of the most, like you mentioned, that social commentary aspect. So give us, because I've seen some of your amazing, like politically charged acts. So tell us a little bit about maybe one of the standouts or your favorites from, maybe tell us about the one from your big show, the Neo Burlesque show.
I knew you were going to say that. I felt it coming. I felt it coming.
Well, I gotta tell you, I was blown away by this act. Not that I was surprised, because you're an incredible entertainer and just a visionary for social commentary in burlesque, but tell us a little bit about that act.
Okay. So it's an act that formulated over, it's something that had been brewing in me over time, and it definitely speaks volumes, I think, in terms of Black Lives Matter right now, and, you know, police brutality and, you know, the social justice part of it. To give a short little insight into what the act is about, I basically come out in prison garbs and I'm bloody. Clearly, it imitates like bullet holes everywhere, and I strip out of that into, I don't know, I'm not sure what to call it, but it's like a rebirth out of that. It's kind of like rising as a phoenix and flying, just like flying away from all of it, which I think for anyone who feels oppressed, not just Black people, not just people of color, but as the reason that we're all here. We all feel that in some way, form, or fashion. And, you know, I wanted to be able to display that in art and say, you know what, one day we will all be free. What it takes to get there, I don't really know. I don't think anybody has the answer, but, you know, knowing, I think being able to use my art and say you're not alone and that, yes, I feel this too. I think that I'm hoping that builds a stronger connection with other people in the community. So.
Well, I don't think you have to hope. I think you can know that that's what you're doing.
Thank you.
I think it's great that there's such a thriving burlesque scene here. There's such a thriving theater and performing arts community here. And it's so inspiring to me to watch entertainers like yourself using the art of your physicality and your persona to create an experience for people. I think that's really incredible. And
thank you.
yeah, so thanks for doing that work and entertaining the masses.
Yeah, it's so weird how it all happened, because when I first got into burlesque, it was like, this is fun, great. And then it turned into, now I'm getting serious about it. Now I want to make a statement. Now I want to, you know, help the community and do all this other stuff. And I'm just kind of happy and fortunate that I found another avenue to do it versus just money, which we don't always have, or resources we don't always have, but using what we do have is the important part.
Definitely. Yeah, do you find that there is, like, how do you make the decision about presenting something that's just pure escapism, just fun and sexy and happy and whatever? And then when do you decide to make that statement and to push the envelope or to really create something artistic? Does it depend on the show, the audience, or the
all of that?
Yeah.
All of that. If I know ahead of time what I'm getting myself into, that helps me determine which way I can go with it and which way I want to go with it. So if it's a themed show, got to stick to the theme, whatever that is, whether it's love, hate, rainbows and unicorns, whatever it is, you know, you stick to it. If it's a show maybe like at the Monocle, where there's definitely more freedom to do whatever you want to do. Most of the time, just because of how beautiful the place is, I just want to do something sexy and just like
luxurious,
you know, just be super extra. I be feeling myself when I walk in there. But I really feel like my first production was the first time that I took it upon myself to push that envelope. And it wasn't just because it was my show, but I felt like I was ready. Emotionally and mentally, I felt like I was ready. Granted, the day of the show, that was not the case, and I was just like, oh God, I don't know if I'm ready to do this, but something inside of me said, just do it already.
Those
just do
nerves
it.
are normal. I mean, you were ready.
I
guess you cast the show accordingly. I mean, you cast entertainers. Maxie Glamour was in that show that you saw earlier tonight. There were incredible entertainers in that show that you specifically plucked out of the bunch to let them create that amazing art that they create. So. Well, other than later tonight, where can we see you perform coming up?
I'm on a little bit of a hiatus, but
which means what, you take like a week off?
It's been a couple weeks, actually. It's been like 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks.
3 whole weeks.
3 whole weeks. The next place I will be will actually be at the Monocle for New Year's. So I'll be there shaking and shimmying and enjoying, bringing in a new year, because 2017, y'all, I don't even know.
It was a doozy.
It was a doozy. It was a doozy. Rough. So I'm ready. I'm sure I'm not alone in that. So y'all should come and celebrate with me.
We're going to celebrate the new year.
Yes. Yeah. I'm ready.
For sure. Well, how are we doing over there on the stage land? Are we set up and ready to go? All right. Well, thank you, Rose, for rescuing me just now as I was like stalling for time.
That's why I'm here.
Always love chatting with you, and can't wait to see you perform here in a little while. And we're going to toss it back over to the main stage, where I'm going to introduce our next entertainer.
Awesome.
Thank you. All right. So here we are over here on the stage, and you're on the floor. I love it. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is Aiko. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Tushita? Sushita. Okay. And Aiko is going to be performing some live music for us. Where do you perform normally? I think you're on Cherokee sometimes, or tell us about where you've been performing.
Yeah, I like to play in scummy bars around town.
Yeah.
Contested spaces are fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Are you going to be singing a little bit today? Or?
I'm gonna use a microphone at some point, but it's not really good. I don't really know. It'll be fun. I'm just messing around tonight.
Okay. So do we need a vocal mic? Okay.
No, and if you kill the mics, it'll be good because I'm running it through this. It's gonna feedback.
Oh, okay. Great. Well, then without further ado, I'm going to toss it over to Aiko. Take it away.
course. Yeah, I think so. Is that all right? Sorry, I'm on the sick side right now.
No, that's great. That's great.
Thanks. That was fun.
Awesome. That was incredible. Give it up one more time for Aiko Tsushida. I was just commenting in the back how your music was so relaxing. It made me want to just like chill and meditate and just, it was lovely. So
I'm on a hell of a lot of cold medicine right now, so this is reflecting my mood.
there you go. There you go. So thank you so much. I'm going to head over here to our next guest. So follow me over to the interview area. All right, we are back over here in the interview area, and I'm here with Z, the mentalist, right?
Hello, Kristen.
It's great to see you tonight.
Great to see you too.
Thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
Before we get into what you do best here tonight, we are going to give a shout out to a couple of our top contributors. We have gotten so many big gifts, y'all. This is amazing. Mike M, $250, incredible. William A, $125. Carrie A, $100. Sabrina T, $125. Susan R, $100. Mark K, $200. Andrea M, $80. Jennifer H, $80. I mean, the list just keeps going on. I'm going to thank a few more folks here in a moment. So thank you. Keep those gifts rolling in, and we will give a few more shout outs here in just a few minutes. But so Z,
Yes, Kristen.
you're a magician, right?
A bit of one.
Tell us a little bit about what you do, because I've seen your work, but I know you're a little bit different than other magicians.
Most magicians, when you think of what a magic show is, you think, rabbits appearing and disappearing on stage, scantily clad women getting stuffed into boxes by ridiculously overdressed men and getting sawn in half and mutilated and put back together,
Right.
which never really attracted me as a performer and as an audience member. It always seemed a little odd and strange. So what I like to do is magic, but it's not really very visual magic. It's not things appearing or disappearing. But it's magic that plays with your mind, magic that plays with what you think and how you think. And I think that when you have effects that can get kind of inside somebody's head into that whole screwed up mess of stuff that we all got going on upstairs, I think the impact of that can be something far more profound than simply, watching something appear on stage or disappear.
Well, clearly you're already in sync with my mental state because we dressed alike tonight.
Yes, for my first trick, I came dressed as you.
Way to go. You're already inside my head, Z. You're already there. So.
All right. So before we begin, I'd like to clarify, we have not set anything up before.
No.
I did not tell you what to say, what to think. Obviously, with the with the costumes,
Yeah.
it can be a little strange.
It could be a little misleading that we're in cahoots, but we're actually not.
Exactly.
Yeah, I booked you for this segment having no idea what you were going to bring, knowing that you're going to bring something awesome, and I can't wait to see
I
what you got.
hadn't decided what I was going to bring until about an hour
Yeah.
beforehand, too. So here's the first thing that I brought. It's in my pocket over here. It's very simple, not very complex at all. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4 red cards.
Okay.
Kristen, could I get your help?
Sure.
If you'd hold your hand out like this, take these cards, hold on to them
Okay.
lightly.
Okay.
Now, for a moment, let's pretend that these are the 4 kings, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to take 2 out. What color are they, red or black?
Red.
Red. The king of hearts, the king of diamonds. Please choose one.
Out loud?
Yes,
Diamonds.
diamonds. We'll set that one down.
Okay.
King of hearts, could you take it, put it in your pocket? Thank you. We'll take the other 2 out. 2 black cards, the king of spades, the king of clubs. Pick one.
Clubs.
Clubs. We'll set that one down. Take the spade, put it in your pocket. Now reach into your pocket, take out 1 card. Is that the king of spades or the king of hearts?
Spades.
The spades. Could you set that one down? And you have 1 card left in your pocket, the king of hearts. If you could take that out, I'll pick up the other 3.
Okay.
Now I'd like you to take that card, please, flip it over, upside down.
Okay.
Give it a wave through the air. And as you do that, something magical happens. You know what happens? It changes color. Okay. Upside down, could you put it back into these cards? Perfect. I'm going to give these a wave, and the other 3 kings, they change too. Take these ones, I'm going to put it right in here. Now, Kristen, if you would, could you spread those cards out?
What?
Because we have over here, you see the king of spades, the king of diamonds, the king of clubs, and the one blue on the back that you flipped over,
Wow.
the king of hearts. Curious, isn't it?
Very curious. I didn't even notice I was in there like that.
Let's try something a bit more involved. Now, do you do math? I don't. I'm pretty terrible
Not
at
regularly.
it. Not regularly. Yeah, me
Not
either.
since college.
Yeah, me either. Never been good at it. Always gotten weird looks for saying so.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I
But
wonder
you're a
if...
scientist too, aren't
Right,
you?
right. No, see, I wanted to be a physicist until I discovered how much
much math.
there is involved in that.
I could see
So,
that.
what are the chances of correctly guessing the color of a card? It's simple, right?
50-50.
50-50.
Yeah.
Correctly guessing 2, 1 in 25. Correctly guessing 3, 1 in 12.5. So I'm going to shuffle these cards up. And Kristen, I'd like you to do something kind of strange. I'd like you to take the deck and kind of deal it into 2 piles in front of you. As quickly as you can,
Okay.
as randomly as you can. You know, put some over here, put some over there.
Okay.
Don't just interleave them neatly.
Okay.
If you could, please.
All right.
A pile on your left, a pile on your right. Okay. Really,
Whoa.
whoops. It's not very obvious right now, but she's doing something amazing. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Right. Okay. Could you square up that pile for me? I'll square
Sure.
up this one. Kind of, yeah, tidy it up a little. So, let's take this pile, for example.
Okay.
If we have a look at this card, what color would you say that was? Red or black?
Red.
Red. What are your chances of getting that right?
50-50.
50-50. Have a look.
Red.
Red. And if we have a look at this card in this pile, what color would you say that was?
We'll go black.
Go black. Have a look. Check. Black.
Black.
1 in 25. 1 in 20. 25%, right? 1 in 4. But what you've done, and you've done this absolutely perfectly, you see, is you've taken every single red card
What? How did you do that?
and you put it. How did you do that? Put it all on this side and over here. See, over here is every single black card.
That's crazy.
Isn't that funny?
Wow.
You got the jokers in there too, with the blacks.
Man, I guess I'm good at dealing.
Did you know you were a mind reader?
No. That's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. How about
cool.
one more?
All right, one more.
One more to close it out. How about something more classic sleight of hand?
Okay.
Please, if you would, take any card. Okay. Have a look.
Okay. Can I show it to the camera?
Yes, please, show it to the camera. In fact, I would like you to sign something on the front of it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right. Camera got it?
Did you see it?
Perfect. If I could have the card back. Now, I want you to see, it's not a marked deck or anything, so there's nothing on the back of the card that could tell me what card you picked. But if I really focus, is it a 3 of clubs? No, 2 of clubs. Ta-da! That was, some of you might have caught a secret move in there. Let's try something a little sneakier with it.
Okay.
2 of clubs. In case you weren't impressed by the divination, let's try some transpositions.
Okay.
I'll go through the deck like this. Please say stop anywhere you like.
Stop.
Right here. If you could push that in for me. And remember how far down it is. About a third, right?
Mm-hmm.
See, it's not on top.
Okay.
It's not on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
But give that a touch. And if you could, turn over that card.
What? How did you do that one?
Well, I have an
crazy.
entire deck of 2 of clubs, all with your signature
All
on
with,
it.
all with M-Tug Telethon Live
All
written
with
on them in
M-Tug
my
Telethon.
handwriting.
You might have missed it the first time, so let's try it again.
Okay.
We'll put it right here. M-Tug Telethon. But we don't want it in the middle. You see, we want it on top, but it's not there. You haven't touched it yet. If you could, give it a tap. And now.
Wow.
I'll do it one more time.
Okay.
We'll take this and bend it down the middle. This way, we can see it bent.
Okay.
A little bit of a crimp.
Sure.
Now when it goes in here,
You can see where it is.
you can see where it is. And if you give it a tap on the top,
Whoa! That was nuts. Wow.
M-Tug Telethon.
Oh my goodness.
For you.
Thank you, Z.
Thank you, Kristen, and thank you so much for having me.
Yes, thanks for being here to share your amazing magic
My
and your
pleasure.
mental
Always-
abilities.
Always here to help out for a good cause, and what a great cause it is.
It is, yes. Speaking of great causes, I want to give out just a couple more shout outs to our amazing donors. Daniel B, $80, Elaine B, $100, Rebecca P, $125, Krista C, $100, Molly P, $100, Jason H, $413, you guys, from Jason. I don't know what 413 means to you, but we love it. Linda J, $100, Maria W, $100, Dennis G, $100, Dorothy G, $125, Jordan R, $100, Andrew S, $100, ACH, $400 from AC. Again, not sure what 400 means to you, but that is an amazing gift. Thank you so much. We're just very grateful for all the support and all of our amazing guests. And yeah, I think, do we have an update at all for our where we are on fundraising? Anybody know a current update? While they're tabulating that, we have a gift for you for being here tonight.
Lovely.
So this is a print that was created by a local artist, I believe, and it's a transmasculine artist, and it says, "Your support is vital for our liberation."
That's beautiful.
Metro Trans Umbrella Group. So that's for you for being a guest
Thank you very
on our
much.
first ever telethon for MTUG. So
Thank you again for having me.
yeah. How are we doing on a total? It hasn't changed yet. Okay. Well, we need it to change, y'all. So get those gifts in. All you night owls out there, open up those wallets, get your phone out, and hit the donate now button. And we are going to kick off another hour of entertainment right over there in just a little bit. So we'll be coming back at you here in just a second. My name's Kristen Goodman. This is the first ever MTUG Telethon live. 24 hours of entertainment, y'all. And we got a really special hour coming up. So we are going to take just a couple minutes break, and we'll be right back. So thank you so much. Okay, I need help.